Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We've got the bass on the bench that's going to accept the neck that we did a refret job on. It's been a hot minute since this guitar was ready to come back. It has a donor neck on it. We're going to de-string it, remove the donor neck, and we're going to get the new neck with the new frets ready to go on to the body. This is going to be fun. Come along for the ride. Remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. So we have, this is the body that's going to accept this neck. They were born together and sold together from a store, I don't know, 30 years ago. I think it's a 50th anniversary guitar. Jazz bass neck, jazz bass body. It does have Seymour Duncans in it. It's been rebuilt. It's not all original, but the neck does go with the body. So this donor neck is a Mexican neck, a MIM neck made in Mexico. That is not a bad thing. I actually have a Mexican neck on my one of my jazz basses. It's a P-bass neck on one of my jazz bass bodies. I built it myself, for myself. I love it. So don't, Mexican, good. From the other side of the planet, offshore, you're gonna roll the dice on that stuff. But I have yet to get a bad Mexican product as far as replacement necks go. Very, very good quality. Fret ends were finished nicely. I don't always go with a clear-coated neck. I don't prefer that, but I have that on my other bass, and this donor neck is what the guys have been playing with. So, de-stringing it, and this may be unsettling to some viewers, but what we're going to do, and if you remember way back when we refretted this neck, there are several videos chronicling everything we did, from removing the frets to cleaning the neck, sanding the neck. The only thing that I have done, and I'm sure the camera is kind of picking that up, and this neck has been sitting around for a month, and about 2 weeks ago I went and put some boiled linseed oil on the sanded neck on these two frets right here. And you see the difference. So once you sand a neck down, you see how dull it is, and it just doesn't seem like it's alive. Well, once you put boiled linseed oil on it and treat it, it comes right back to life. It may take 1 or 2 applications, but that's 2 weeks old, and you can see the difference. I mean, the camera can clearly pick that up. So still some work to do, but so de-string, de-neck the guitar, and then all of the hardware that's in the headstock of this neck is going to be installed in this neck. And then the fun part is, don't forget, refer to the other videos, all the holes were whopped out of shape on this neck, and we had to over-drill and put hardwood dowels in there. So we're going to have to re-drill and reset this neck into this body. Not just simple parts replacement on this. Headphones. So we are probably not going to complete this entire job in one video installment. Like I said, we're going to de-string. We're going to take the neck off of this body and prepare this neck to receive into this body. I'd like to save these strings, but that is not always the reality of it because it is body through. So once you've curled all these up and put them into the, see, they're already a jumbled mess. So to save some time, we're just going to let them go. Don't think they're that old, but look, that's a heartache waiting to happen, especially when you have to try to put them through the body and save them. And yeah, that's not in the cards for me today or tomorrow when we get to it. Those go away. For the amount of work that we're doing on this girl, you know, a set of strings is just par for the course. Real guitar, real bass. I played it with the Mexican neck on it in the state that it's in. I like it. It's a nice little guitar. And we are going to, you see I had the neck relief set perfectly because once we took the string tension off, that neck went right to straight. I'll measure it later, but for now, all we're going to do is remove it from the body. And that is the next step. Isn't that fun? How do you do that? Yeah, you take some screws out. Loosen them all first. Again, real jazz bass. 50-year anniversary edition. We're taking the donor neck that has been played on this guitar for, well, a couple of months now. You know, if you were following my tutorials on doing the fret job on that guitar, that neck, I mean. You know my mantra, do not use power tools on this. Unnecessary heartache awaits using power tools on this sort of job. Feel it with your fingertips. Use a screwdriver. Takes a few extra seconds, but man, you skip with a power tool and put a big mar in somebody else's guitar. Can't explain that away. Or your own guitar for that matter, a heartache that's just waiting to happen. So the last screw to come out. You'll notice I like to hold them standing up. I don't want it laying on the bench with the neck because it's just going to pull and put pressure on not only the body but the holes that are drilled in the neck. Just try to hold it as steady as you can until it comes loose. Once that last little thread comes out of the last neck screw hole, it should just pop right out. Don't pry it, let it come out on its own. A little bit of help, there you go. The neck has been removed from the body. This is a brand new neck. Genuine Fender. I prefer this kind of truss rod adjustment. That's all the Mexicans are like that. Again, we're going to remove all the parts from this. This old neck that goes back to this body has the truss rod adjustment there. And isn't that fun? Because we could end up putting the neck on and off a couple of times. We don't know. So I'm going to put the body, I'm going to pause, put the body away, and get both necks up here. Because what I want to do first, the easiest part, is to put all the hardware from the Mexican neck back on the original neck that came with the guitar. Come on, focus. Sorry about that. What we're going to do is take the hardware off the headstock, get it back in the original neck, and then we're going to start talking about marking and drilling the new holes into the back of the neck where we repaired the whopped out holes before. Stand by. So just so you know, what I did with the body was put a blank. I have a blank neck on the in the shop that I use when I'm painting, or if I have a neck off of a body for an extended period of time. It's just a blank. You put one screw in, and that way we can hang up the body. It's not going to lay around and get scratched up, and that's what I want to do, is kind of put it on a guitar stand and just let it sit. So it's basically a donor neck just to hold onto the body so that we can put it aside. It only takes one screw. It's not like you're moving the bass guitar around. It's just so that, you know, you take a neck off of a body and it's missing half of its thing. You know, so there's no way to put it on, hang it up, or put it on a guitar stand. So we're going to take this part's off. I hope you understood everything I just did there. I went a little fast. The string tree. We've got our little bucket to hold all of our hardware. What happened to that screw? Oh, there it is, on the end of my screwdriver. These are really nice tuners, by the way. I've never been able to find them again. I'm sure somebody out there knows where to get them or how to find them. They are the sweetest, smoothest Fender tuners I've ever had on a bass guitar, felt on a bass guitar. There's nothing on the back. You take out the front, and I'm not sure that I have a big enough socket for that. Stand by, I have to find the right socket for that. Sorry about that. I only keep up to 15 millimeter on my small because generally we're not dealing with huge nuts like this. This is just the retainer nut that goes through. Yes, I could put a ratchet on it, but what's the point? I'm only scratching up the socket. And once you break it loose, you don't need it anymore anyway. So I didn't bother bringing a ratchet. Get them all loose. These are sockets I used when I built my Chevelle, by the way. 68 Chevelle, 396, 4-speed, 12-bolt rear, hot rod. Jack of all trades. Master of none, I guess. I don't know. Beautiful. Now, that gear set is ready to come out. See, there's no screws in the back. It's just these two little divot holes. Pins that receive into those pins. And by the way, when I set up this donor neck for him, I had to drill those holes. I had to set all of these, and now we're taking it all apart and putting it back to original. Neat stuff. I think it goes something like that. And then yup. So, like many Stratocasters or whatever, there would be a screw in here. Now, some of them are like this too on Strats. They have two little pins that drill into the neck. And then we'll tighten those down as we go. We're going to do one at a time. Put them right on there. You need to see all of this? I don't think so, but I'm going to bore you with the gory details. Because if you watch how I do it, then you'll know how to do it for yourself at some point. That's the whole idea of a tutorial, I guess. Finger tight to start. We'll put the socket back on when we get them all on there. Stand by. Okay, we're back. You can see that we got the other tuners out. These machines are now in the original neck. You just give them a good turn by hand. Again, this is not a Harley Davidson or a 396 Chevelle. You don't have to put a wrench on them. Doesn't need it, isn't necessary. That's as tight as they need to be, as tight as you can get it with your hand. And every time you string this instrument up, you check it. That's okay. They're not going to come loose unless the guitar fairy jumps in your room in the middle of the night. You know my story on that. Do we need anything else off of this neck? Nope. It is a bare neck now. It is a bare neck. It doesn't have anything on it. And the last thing I want to do is check it. It looks like it's got slight back bow. So before I put this thing away, I'm going to put a 4mm on. I'm guessing that it's a 4mm through experience. I could be wrong. It is not a 4mm. It is bigger. Couldn't possibly be a 5mm. Hey, maybe it's Mexican for Fender. Maybe they made them use standard size, which they did. No figure. Everything else in Mexico is metric, but you know, we're building a neck for Fender, so they made us use standard. I'm going to say it's probably 3/16. Yahtzee. So it's in a little bit of a back bow, and this neck could sit around for a little while. So what I'm going to do is relax it. So tightening it is to the right, loosening it is to the left, and we need to loosen it slightly. Remember, this guitar was being played, so it was set up as though it had string tension on it. Now, yeah, there's a tool that you put on there, and if there's light showing through, yeah, okay. I've been doing this for 100 years. I defy anyone to tell me that neck isn't straight. It's ready to set until the next time we need to use it or put it on an instrument. Just make sure it's straight. Gotcha? You follow? All right, we're back to our girl here. Remember, tighten up by hand. And this one has been sitting around for quite a while, and yeah, she's still straight. We don't need to set the truss rod on this one just yet, but we're going to have to. And guess what? That one is probably the same size, but it's down here. It's not up here where it's easy to get at. Another reason I kind of like Mexican necks, because they all have the bullet adjustment. The nut was loose. I put it back in. I set it. I don't know if we're going to use this nut, but I'm going to use it to put the guitar back together and set it up. What is the next step? The funnest part starts. We have to put the body up here, upside down, put the neck into it, and then transfer punch the holes so that we can start drilling our pilots. We can't just drill into the center of our dowels that we put in there. That is not how you do this. We have to get it set in the body, try to get some idea of where, if it sits in there snugly, great. If it doesn't, we have to understand where our string spacing is going to be, which is basically the low E and the G, E, A, D, G, the two outside strings. And you want to, then you can, after that, you can adjust your spacing accordingly. This one does have an adjustable bridge on it where you can move your strings one notch one way or the other, but before before you commit to drilling holes in this neck and setting it, let's try to make sure we get it as close as possible. So that's today's tutorial. The last thing I'm going to do is show you. Remember I showed you at the beginning of the video? That's why I tout constantly boiled linseed oil. Because we're not going to set this neck today. It's going to be in the next video. Because I want to devote the entire video how to set it into the body, transfer punch where the holes are going to be for each screw that holds the neck to the body. But today, I think we've done just about enough. Except, you see how dull that neck is, except for those two frets right there. I'm going to do the rest of them. And when we come back for the next video a couple of days from now, this neck is going to be standing tall. The fretboard is going to be alive again. See the difference already. What a difference. And that's from, remember when we put the new frets in, when the old frets were off, we had to sand this board down, not get ready to accept the new frets before we did the fret leveling. We had to sand the board down and radius block it so that it's got the right radius again after 30 something years. Why would anybody go through all that trouble? Well, everybody will. And it's so inexpensive compared to the job that I did on this to buy a new neck, a new Mexican neck, or even a new American neck. It would still be cheaper than doing a refret. But when you have a guitar that's been in your stable for, a long time, and it's an original thing, and it might have sentimental value, you don't want to separate the neck from the body. And that part I understand 100%. And that's what leads you to refretting an instrument. So anyway, you guys have all seen me do this a million times. I do not use this stuff at the shop that I subcontract out to, and I've been trying to talk them into using it, and they've been reticent to do it. Hopefully one of them will see my video on the benefits of, let's not waste any, benefits of boiled linseed oil and how it revitalizes hardwood and dark wood especially. And don't forget that little guy right there, because he deserves some love too. So once you get it on there, and don't be afraid to put some on there. Don't overdo it, but this guy is probably going to need 2 applications. And that's what I'm going to do. Because this stuff is magical. It not only treats the wood, but any crevices or cracks that have opened up in 30 plus years on this instrument, on this board, it will fill them in, and then it gets hard. And it actually fills those crevices in. And it stays hard, like all that crusty stuff around there, which can only aid in how the instrument plays. If you dig my meaning. So once you apply it on there, you want to let it sit for a few minutes anyway. And then you come back. Wow, that thing looks like brand new again. I love it. I wish it would stay wet looking like that, but that's not the cards. A couple of minutes go by. Stand by. Okay, so I let that oil sit on there, and you can see it starts to soak into the wood a little bit, and then you just wipe it off. And this is critical, especially on, a fretboard like this one that we let, sanded it all the way down, and it's been sitting for a little while. let that oil sit on there for a little bit. Don't just put it on and wipe it right off. On a guitar that's, a regular setup, yeah, okay, it's okay. Put it on, give it a minute or two. But I let this sit on there for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then you take it off. And you shouldn't be getting, because we sanded it, it shouldn't be dirty at all. And you've seen some of my videos where you clean a fretboard and do this process. And it's just nastiness coming off of there. Trust me when I tell you, this wood loves it. It is going to look like $1,000,000. Now, all wear marks that were on the board before, you can see different shadowing. That's character that was in the wood. We didn't try to take that out. All we did was put new frets, level them, crown them, do the fret ends. Any character that's left in the wood, that's exactly what it is. It's character. You want to keep that. You don't want to sand the daylights out of it and take it back down to brand new. But trust me, it's as smooth as a newborn, you know what. And if there's a mark where strings have been hitting it, that's character. This is a 30-plus-year-old instrument, and it's okay. It's okay. It'll never be brand new. A guitar is only new once. And the minute you start playing it, guess what? It's not brand new anymore. It's just like a new car. Look at that. Look at the difference in the way that board looks. Anybody that can't see that, you're blind. Sorry. Or you need new glasses, which I always do, because I am blind. So that is going to be today's tutorial. We destrung it. We took the neck, the donor neck, off of the body that came with this guitar neck, this bass guitar neck. This is a jazz bass. We removed the neck, of course. We fixed this one up, transferred all of the hardware. I lied, not all of the hardware. We still have to put the string tree on, but that's one screw and one little thing. We're going to call this video done. The next time you see me, we're going to transfer punch the holes into the back of this neck that we had over drilled and repaired the whopped out screw holes to receive the body. And that had to be done because the holes were so out of shape that the screws weren't holding the neck steady. It would literally move this way or that way. Transfer punch, find out where those new screws need to be, and that's the next step. It's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. I hope you dig what I'm doing. If you do, like and subscribe. We're going to be back with a new video putting this neck with its original body soon.